Boom. And we're live. I'm here with my boy Ink Spots and Fresher Luke. How's it going, guys?
I'm feeling good. I just douched, so everything's nice and clean.
Did you use your gadget still?
I don't know if I did it right though, because I've never done it before. So
Did you?
the bottle said
first time. Bro.
The bottle said, "Do you want to feel fresh and clean?" And I'm like, "Yes, I do." So I gave it a shot. See what happened.
Did you douche it to the point where it smells like rain evaporating off a pavement?
All I know is I feel like I got to poop right now.
Oh.
Are you sure you douched yourself?
Oh man, what's up, guys? How is everyone doing?
Doing all right. Doing fairly well. I was hoping Rotten would be here, but
he's like a ghost these days, man.
Yeah, it's weird because he'll be on for days at a time, and then he'll just like disappear.
Yeah, we haven't talked in a while, but I've been busy, and so
I want to make him a new like icon. Like lately with his like new shaggy look and everything, I was like, man, and he mentioned his girl wanted KFC. I'm like, he kind of looks like Colonel Sanders. So I was thinking about taking like the KFC logo and just doing like R10G and like having his face there and like making that like into like a parody of the KFC logo with Rotten's face on it.
Yeah, I know his work's gotten crazy. He said he's working on a bunch of
it's kind of like
liberal magazines. About. That's what he works on, and he hates it. He hates it because he's like, he's working on all this liberal propaganda, and he has to. It's his job, so
doubly compounded. But it's like what you're talking about with your work schedule now, like where you just have so much shit going on all at once and deadlines are looming. Like for him, he's just like, all these people like fucking wait till the last fucking minute. And then it's like all these changes have to be made. It sucks, dude. It sucks.
Yeah, it's like when you're a colorist, you're not kept in the it'd be great if like as the pages were done, they'd send you like they approve the page, send it over to you. I could keep up with them, no problem. But they wait till there's like all these pages and then only a short amount of time left to color them, and they just send them all over at once. It's like, it's ridiculous. I don't understand.
Yeah. It's like feed you pages, man. Because while one's getting inked, another can be colored.
I know you'd think you'd want to do it, have your pipeline going, bam, pencils, inks, colorists, letter. Yeah. But nope, I guess not. Whatever. Nobody seems to work that way.
I was just visiting this.
Whoa, yeah, man. What is this?
This is Fresher Luke's campaign here. Forsaken Gods.
I just got 3 backers, I think, yesterday and today. So now we're
nice.
3. Well, we're at least it might be 4 backers, but we're 3 backers away from reaching 180.
Nice. Now, did this come off of your whole Dungeon Crawlers short or idea kind of?
Well,
because I'm noticing like a little bit overlap with this chick and the guy. Yeah, like the one dude who I watched it just the other day. The promo or whatever you had for it.
Oh, the animated short.
Yeah, and there's like the dude that goes through the actual dungeon. And I mean, it makes a very basic get-up.
Wizard. That's totally different, dude. She's a human. He's a lizard.
It came up last time that all Fresher Luke's ideas are the same.
Yeah,
thing.
It's just the same premise, just with a different coat of paint.
Well, that's how you do it, right? Like you just want to make a Star Wars, but like the same kind of
story. But you
just
keep making Star Trek?
Yeah, you just change the characters around.
I haven't watched like all your promo stuff for it, but I did watch the midday repartee where like it was just they were like hounding you for not going international.
Yeah,
like,
they wouldn't.
Oh my gosh.
I had a talk with Joe Albino, Joe Thunderbuns. You know who I'm talking about. We were talking, and he pointed that out, saying, you kind of you made your point as to why you weren't doing it. They just wouldn't let it drop.
I don't want to do international either, man. It seems like every story you hear about someone completely losing their ass on their campaign is, I just had no idea that international shipping would be so much, you know? So it's like, no, it's too scary, man.
Well, it's not even that. It's like, you know, I've heard lots of horror stories of how people would, you know, they'd send things and then they couldn't get it because the post office wanted the person they're delivering it to wanted to pay like extra on top of what they'd already paid, so they're like holding it ransom essentially.
Holy crap.
And like other guys who like you know, they say, hey, I didn't get my book, and so, you know, they would send them another one, and then they turn around and say, yeah, I didn't get my book, and they're like, hang on a minute, are you trying to get free books? And I'm just gonna give you a refund. And yeah, all kinds of stupid shit like that. Oh, yeah.
Did you guys see this? 2 guys from Toronto just started a men's bathing suit company called Brokinis.
This is ridiculous.
Dude, is that it looks like fucking like baby, like the little baby jumpers.
Yeah.
But like they just cut one side off.
They should have used like a different pattern. That would have helped sell it a little better, right?
That's basically what it is, man.
Yeah.
I just thought that was funny, man.
I mean, maybe the polka dot one, not as much. But
why wouldn't you just do like a Speedo at that point? Like,
yeah.
Why look stupid?
Why do it over the shoulder? Why not just have like it looks symmetrical, you know? Yeah.
What is with the strap? What does it do? Like their junk is so fucking heavy that they have to have that extra support. Look at this guy though. He's like
he's really
like a baby binky in there. He don't have much to hold up, man. Even this guy's button's kind of small, you know.
Well, isn't it just like made more stuff? Like these look like baby patterns, on their things, and the one's holding a whale inflatable.
Oh, and look at her face. She's like, "Yeah, I never felt either of these guys inside me ever. Never felt it."
She's probably smiling because she's like, "Yeah, I've got 2 safe males carrying all my shit for me."
Yeah, that's what it is.
I get all this free stuff and don't have to fuck either of them. This is awesome.
The
Brokini from Toronto,
it's it's a new world. Yeah, it's a new world, guys. It's getting a little scary.
It's something.
I don't want to live in a world with the Brokini.
Well, you know what you gotta do. There's only one way out.
Like the apocalypse didn't do you, and it was Brokinis.
Yeah. Like, no. Who knew the apocalypse was going to be fake? I didn't know it was going to be a fake apocalypse. I thought this was going to be a real one.
Well, I heard that they're calling for an asteroid impact the day before the United States election. There's a 0.4% chance.
It's going to pass by or something.
They say it's 0.4% chance that it could hit the Earth, but it would be if it hit the Earth. It would be the day before election night.
That'd be awesome, dude.
So watch it hit like the biggest post office in the United States.
It can just like hit Haiti.
All the mail-in ballots are gone.
Cool.
Wait, do you think they would literally do that?
What?
Would they use the excuse of meteor to blow up the post office to destroy the evidence of ballots?
You never know, man. You never
really? Are they setting it up for that? They're like, oh, well, it splintered off and fell apart, and there was a smaller piece, but it just so happened to hit this area.
Well, they've tried everything for the last 4 years. I mean, they've just thrown shit against the wall to see what would stick. You know, the apocalypse worked, but I think people are. I'm in Arizona, and I think people have just kind of figured out that it's not real because nobody is doing anything anymore. It's like back to usual. I mean, nobody's wearing masks. Nobody gives a fuck. I did get yelled at today by a guy. Like I went to work at his house, and I'm like, "Do you need me to wear a mask?" And he says, "No." So I go inside. Then he bitches at me for like 2 hours because I'm not wearing a mask, and I'm like, "You are a fucking moron. I asked you if you want me to wear a mask. You said no, but now you're bitching at me because I'm not wearing a mask." It's like,
well, I think he just wanted something to bitch about.
Yeah, and he was saying how you should wear a mask outside, and it's like, you fucking dumbass. You got to do your part. I am doing my part. I'm fucking working, dummy. I'm fixing your toilet right now.
Did he tell you to wear your mask when you were alone?
No, just outside and alone. Yeah,
Yeah.
where there's
Yeah.
lots more air. You know?
Yeah.
Where there's nobody around.
It's like no one's even using common sense anymore. It's out the window. I don't know. It's fucking dumb.
Well,
But
I'm pretty sure the infection rate is like so close to the flu, and it's like yet we're going through all these hoops and doing all this stuff. I'm willing to bet like the worst flu season of the past 20 years is on par with this like
yeah,
coronavirus, and like the people hit the hardest are like old people. And my girlfriend being a nurse, and she worked at a rehab center for a while, which was basically an old folks home. She would get like occasionally the young guy out of an accident who needed to do rehab, but it was mostly like old people out of their minds or nowhere to go, and they would end up there. And I'm telling you, these are people propped up by like constant care, machines, and drugs being thrown at them.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and a number of families who don't even visit them really, like being like, do whatever you can to keep them alive another day, you know. And even if they're just like,
prolong the suffering as much as possible.
Yeah, even if they're hanging by a thread, you know, do what you can. And it's just like, and sometimes there's what's called code blue, which is where they stop breathing. Doing the whole resuscitation bit, I mean, they can like break their ribs and all this other stuff. I mean, like leave them like in a mess. And like, it's just like, yeah, keep them alive, whatever. But some are do not resuscitate. But yeah, it's just like you can't, some of them, a lot of them were in a condition where like they had alarms on their beds. They couldn't get up from their beds. They'd have to rush in and stuff. And it's just like, can you imagine? Like, you can't go anywhere. You can't do anything. Nobody you know, or you used to know, is alive. Your family doesn't even really see you. And it's just, and you're on this slew of like drugs and stuff to keep you from going one way or the other. And constantly maybe getting blood work done, whatever. It's just like this never ending thing just to like get you through another day where you can't do anything and you can't see anybody. Like it's no wonder like some of these places just like fall like dominoes, like when something like this comes through. I think there's way too many people kept alive for like just the reason of keeping them alive. Like I wouldn't want to be in the condition that I've heard some of these people in.
I don't know. Some people can't let go, man. They just.
I know.
They would fall apart if for some reason if this person died, and so it's kind of. I guess in a way you're right, because it is sort of cruel if they're so very much on death's door, but they keep getting brought back from the brink. It seems kind of like
it's just not a quality of life, man. I mean, they're out of their minds a number of times. Like they're deteriorated away. They could be in the position like she would occasionally get the guy who was, just lost his wife, and he has no kids and no family. All of his friends are dead, and like he's got something, and maybe all of his wits are about him, but he doesn't really have a reason to live, you know. And it's just like, these like it's really hard to keep somebody in this world who doesn't have a reason to be in this world, and it's really hard to keep people alive with something like this going through when everything is being done to keep them alive. And I honestly think it's a racket because it's more money. The money it takes to live a day in these systems is like hundreds, thousands, like day after day after day. It's like entire retirement funds just getting drained out of people.
I mean, there's the reasons why they made wood chippers. I mean, this problem is easily solved.
Oh, wow.
Easily solved.
We were being all serious and really sentimental. And you just came along, you took a big dump.
I was at least expecting like Soylent Green, some kind of like cannibalism sort of thing.
No, man, wood chippers, man. And then you're saving the environment. You get a compost pile going. This shit could work.
Hopefully, when AI comes around, then things like what you just described with old people will be hopefully solved through automation. I don't know if that'll.
Yeah, you just upload.
No, I mean like
and leave the body.
Robotic caregivers is what I meant.
What do you say? Oh, Caregivers? Like robot caregivers. That's what.
Yeah.
No, I just want to be
Hmm.
uploaded, bro. Just upload me into the internet.
Well,
Hmm.
you won't
Yeah.
be able to be uploaded because
That's too far in the future. I'll be dead before then.
no, it's like there's no way to actually do it. Like
Speaking-
they can make a copy.
Yet.
They can make a copy of your mind, but you are still you. Your soul does not transfer with that copied or mimicked data.
Yet they don't know how to capture that energy yet. Pretty soon. 4,000-5,000 years from now, it's gonna be perfected. It'll happen.
Speaking of compost, did you guys see this today?
Oh no!
Does she eat dirt? I heard
She ate
something.
dirt, man.
Why'd
ate
she do
dirt
that?
live because she mentioned that I forget how it came up, but she mentioned she ate dirt and that gopher hole dirt was the best dirt. And then they looked it up and they said like I don't think it was gophers that they found, but it was like beavers,
Hmm.
and like they emit some sort of like thing out of like their anal glands or something.
Oh my
Mm.
god!
That is used for some kind of artificial flavoring or something. So they're like, oh my god, this is why that gopher dirt tasted so sweet. Something comes out of their assholes. Like,
I'm gonna
So
eat
they're
some
eating
gophers.
dirt and gopher shit.
yeah, so
Hmm.
she's like roaming her like her family's ranch, and she was like trying to find gopher hole dirt. She ate like dirt off the ground, gopher hole,
I feel like
dirt,
this is something.
snake hole dirt.
I feel like this is something you'd see on Pornhub.
Kinda,
yeah.
yeah. I
Two
mean,
girls,
it was
one cup, something like that.
it was
Hot
definitely.
babe roams her ranch looking to eat gopher dirt.
Dude, you would have thought she was just like taking a bite out of candy the way she just munched on it. Like she took a clump of dirt, bit off a piece, and then ate it. And this is her like showing the dirt shit on her tongue.
Disgusting. Fucking
Wait, are you guys for or against Star Wars Girl and those guys?
Against who?
against who?
Those guys we just saw.
I'm not against anybody.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some people are. I'm not. I just,
Everybody think is like, I'm not taking any sides on nothing, man.
Yeah,
Some
same.
individual people are assholes. And that's it. You know?
I just find it odd that she's eating dirt and proud of it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know that she was necessarily proud of it, but she's not ashamed of it.
Yeah, so she's proud of it then.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But she was willing to let Cecil get the views on that shit.
All right.
I was just like, no fucking, like Cecil posted the link and it's like a special presentation from the gopher hole. I'm like, no way, it can't be happening.
The gopher
And-
hole. That'd be a good name for like a strip club or something.
Yeah, right.
The
Oh,
gopher
wow.
hole.
For like pregnant women or something like that,
Oh,
in
wow.
case like a baby like is born in a
There's like a
performance.
pregnant
Like, it's a
strippers,
gopher.
and you can play like whack-a-mole. Like if the baby's head like pops out, you can like whack it with a foam thing and pop it back
You
in.
know what would be a special event at the gopher hole is they would actually, if a woman, one of the dancers goes into labor and starts giving birth, they would be like, guys, pay attention. Like, we got a special announcement. And, they bring her up on the stage and she gives birth there on stage in front of everyone. And
Oh,
everyone
yeah.
celebrates.
There's probably some freaks that get down on that stuff.
Probably, yeah.
They'd be down with it. Like, oh, let me smell the afterbirth.
Oh my god.
Let me rub it in my underwears.
Yeah, so she was walking around and she claimed that there's a difference. It was funny because she's like, "Oh, that's a snake hole," and they're just like John and Cecil were both watching. Like, they all look like holes. she's like this expert. She's like, "This is snake hole. This is spider hole. This is gopher hole. You can tell by the way they dig." And she's like, "Oh, the gopher's not in this one. It's been a while. You can tell from the dirt." Like, it's just like, how long has this girl been eating dirt that she was able to tell the difference between like an occupied gopher hole and a non-occupied gopher hole, plus like all these other things? She took a clump of. I saw her eat, I think, a snake hole one, a gopher hole one, and just a regular clump of dirt, like in between, because she had to hunt down one of these spots because the gopher hole was the golden The golden dirt.
The golden prize.
Yeah.
Well, when I was little, I used to eat out of the cat box, and I think that may be why I became a plumber in my older, when I got older. So
The litter box?
yeah, my mom says I used to eat turds out of the litter box, dude.
Wow.
No.
And I was like,
no.
Mom, I said, like, Mom, you're a bitch. Why weren't you watching me better?
Tell me you're making that up.
No,
Tell me
dude. This is the
don't
truth.
share that. Why
No,
would you
man.
I
share
regret
that?
eating that chocolate ice cream now. Just a few.
I'm
minutes
I'm
ago.
not ashamed. I was one. What was a 1 or 2, man? I didn't know any
Oh,
better.
God,
I thought they
dude.
were like freaking like coconut clusters or something. Probably. Never.
Oh.
Then I think it impacted me. I think that when I got
Yeah, I'm
older,
sure it did.
It made me want to be in the business of waste.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hey,
Jesus.
hey, Lucius, I posted a link in the private chat.
Private chat. All right, hold on. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, I wish I had an easier copy button there.
I'm looking at the Cyberfrog
There we
pages.
go.
I would not want to color Ethan's Cyberfrog pages. They're just too much.
You
lines.
might want to because it seems like he's paying good. Or he's
Yeah,
paying
the
well
only
enough,
reason
you
I
know?
would want to is because you're getting paid for like 8 pages of regular coloring in 1 page.
Wait, how do you get this coloring work? Is it hard?
How do you get Ethan's coloring work? You got to be
Or just-
Kyle Ritter.
Just any coloring work.
I don't know. It's easy. Everyone's looking for a colorist. It seems like, and you don't even have to be good because I've seen some.
Well, I
super,
tried to do
super-
coloring for Fatal.
Ooh.
They made me do a test.
Smack talk.
And
For who?
For
what?
Smack
for
talk.
Fatal.
Hmm.
And the thing is that Charlie's like an amazing artist, and he's very particular about the way he does things, and I'm very
Yeah.
particular about the way I do things, and so
Yeah.
these things didn't quite align.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Damn it! I cannot in good conscience take this work because it's
Well-
gonna be a headache for both of us."
Certain colors only look good on certain types of work. Like my coloring, I think looks really good on less rendered artwork. Like styles that don't have so much rendering in them. Whereas Kyle Ritter's work looks beautiful on super rendered work. But I've
Yeah.
seen him do like some rendering on less rendered work, and it doesn't look that good because you have to put in you got to add all that rendering. You got to add all that texture in there that's not there on like the more cartoony stuff. So yeah, you got to add that. You got to add it. But yeah, I look like shit on detailed styles. It doesn't look good on. Nope. So yeah, I pick and choose kind of the kind of projects based on what I know I look good over, and what I've learned I just don't look good over. So. Yeah. And those really detailed styles
We're
are
not going to
bitch to
talk
color.
about it.
What aren't we
Oh,
talking
I don't know.
about?
I had it up there for a while. And
You
like,
did, but
it didn't catch
hang on,
anybody's
it's-
fancy.
What
man.
did you have? I wasn't even looking at the screen.
Oh,
No, you
I'll
just
put it
kept
back up.
talking.
I was
I
looking
can put
at
it back up.
I was looking at Ethan's Twitter.
No worries, no worries. I got this. As long as it's not audio, I fuck up.
No, I don't think
Audio
it's
stuff,
just
you
those
know?
images. It's just
Yeah, it is. Boom.
Oh, is it this freaking tranny kid stuff again? Ugh. It's so fucking cringy. Ugh.
If we look through the images, it's like
It makes me fucking sick.
I mean, to be fair, like it's been going on for a while. Like the whole like child pageant thing was something I was like, what? Like the John Benet Ramsey shit, you know. And I think that's what
Yeah.
kind of made it big.
yeah.
And I mean, there's entire stupid reality TV shows that follow this sort of shit.
It's just like, I mean, how far gone is the world where you have to say "fucking kids" is wrong?
Well,
Jesus,
that's the
man.
thing is like there's been this slow creep of trying to make pedos like accepted. I guess like
Apps.
like they're just a clinical condition or whatever, and it's like, well, yeah, but you don't like celebrate psychopaths. You don't try to fold them in. You try to find them and push them away from everyone else who's fucking normal. Like,
sorry, if you're a pedophile, you need to be beat with a baseball bat until there's nothing left of you except a puddle of broken bones and goo. That's what you deserve, you fucking freak.
I think that's a little extreme. I think maybe we could rehabilitate them somehow without using violence.
Oh,
Maybe.
really? Oh,
Yeah.
I don't see that.
I mean, look, if someone is a serial offender, then by all means, take that baseball bat and go to work. But, I think for others who are, don't know what's going on, I don't know. I'm an idiot. I don't know anything.
Nah, I don't know. I'm from Arizona. We handle stuff different here.
You do. That is true.
We're hicks, man.
I'm super high as well, so I think everyone should just get along right now.
Yeah. Listen, I don't know. I'm an idiot too. I mean, I don't know. Oh, check this out. Check this page out. This is I think this is my favorite Cyberfrog page that he's done so far.
let's see.
Look at that, man. That's freaking awesome, dude. The freaking bees. I don't know. I just love that page.
Oh yeah, totally kicking that bee in the face.
Dude, when you color, do you make sound effects like that and shit?
I do. Like when I was doing the spaceship on that one page of Cecil, like making warp sounds. I was.
Oh man.
No, I love this. It's fucking beautiful. See, I like it like this, a little less sparse. Not sparse, the opposite. I like it without super detail in the background. I like to see all of his figure work because it's where he kicks ass at, man. It's like all the action. And it's amazing how he draws this pretty much just in ink. He has a couple little squiggles and blue line, and then it's just all ink. That's crazy to me. Is that how you draw, Luke?
No.
No.
Not really.
You do a lot of underdrawing, or?
I don't know. I mean, I guess I do it through iteration. It's hard to describe. It's like I do thumbs and I'm write it at the same time, and that's the first stage. And then the second stage is tie downs, right? And then the third stage is I guess ink and cleanup, and then the fourth stage is color and
I remember him.
So you write with pictures. That's how I do it too. I do little I'm writing the story with my thumbnails. I don't actually write.
I feel
out
like
the
that's
story.
the way to do it though with comics. It's it is a marriage of image and text, and I feel like you should have a book that on some level you could actually make work without any text at all. I could still tell that where it starts, where it finishes, what's going on, kind of a gist of it. There's these silent comic books where there is no text and they tell a whole story that way, but they know that they do that. I just feel like that should be kind of a goal, an unwritten goal, and that the text just adds to it. Or you just they enhance each other. Closest thing that comes to mind at first is Watchmen, where you have the captions kind of mirroring the imagery at the same time, and they play off of each other, especially when it's the bits where it's the pirate book plus what's going on in the story and how each of those things play off of one another. That's what I would try to shoot for. So I'm not much of a writer at all, but that would be the way I'd have to go about it, is I'd have to visually lay it out while I wrote it. And also I feel I know you aren't a big fan of the Jawbreakers franchising spots, but I was just man, he has these cool moments, and they're just a panel. I'm this should be a double page spread, fucking looking awesome as shit. It just should be the money shot of the book, and instead it's just half a page.
I think it, and I think this is true. I think why there's not a lot of double page spreads is kind of because they're a bitch to do in the current software. Like to get everything right, and then to get them off to the printers to where they print in sequence, right, and open up to their, I think, I bet you that's why there's not too many. If you look at Comicscape books, there's not a lot of double page spreads in them, and I think that's why people don't know how to paginate and make sure everything falls in the right place when they send it off to the printer.
That could be entirely true. Yeah,
I bet. I know I'm right on this. Hey, man, when I'm right, I'm right. I need props, too. I need props.
People need props. They need more props.
But I remember Luke going over this, too, on Midday Repartee.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, he should have just been like, oh, yeah, and Phase 5 is where I finally do international shipping.
Just
I still wouldn't have satisfied them. They were like, why can't you do Phase 5 now? Oh my god.
Oh, wait, actually, that would be Phase 8. Phase 5.
That would be Phase 20.
Right.
Oh my god. They wouldn't let it go. They would not let it go.
No.
I don't know.
I'm scared of international shipping, man. I just...
Are you? Why did international shipping touch you when you were a child?
Right.
No, it's just every horror story about crowdfunding is about international shipping. It seems like
is that the new genre for horror?
If you're fulfilling, yeah, man.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm hearing like the shipping is more than people even paid for the book and the shipping combined, and and just crazy stuff like that.
They were telling me that people don't mind paying that extra for shipping if they really want it, and I'm just like, I don't know.
But then I hear tons of complaining about $50 shipping from Earthworm Jim, so people do mind about paying that much shipping.
Yeah.
Well, I think Earthworm Jim, I think some of the international people just got screwed out of getting anything. Like he went back and asked for more, and he never shipped it out. And it's like
kind of like never fulfilling Bigfoot Bill's video game.
Yeah, are you talking about those international backers that he did?
Yeah.
He actually ended up fixing that.
Oh, he did?
Yeah,
Good.
I heard it from the horse's mouth himself.
No, that was just something where it's just like, he kind of dug that hole for himself because his thing was he wanted to make this grand book and it had its own even special packaging, and I'm like, dude, that's awesome, but I mean, ultimately in the end, you shouldn't screw yourself over on your own project. Like I would be, international shipping, I would be hesitant about. Fulfillment is probably the thing that makes me clench up the most thinking about like doing something like this. Is just like I really don't want to deal with a whole lot of bullshit, and that seems like the number one area of it. I don't mind doing it provided they want to pay for it, but you fuck up your address or your customs holds it back. What do you expect me to do? I'm not the fucking like president. I can't like move this through your borders or something,
The president is the only one who can move stuff through borders.
I mean, I don't have the ability to bribe somebody at your country to get it through to you.
Luckily, whatever, Lucius, you're probably if you do a book, you're probably only going to sell like 50 copies, so it should be pretty. Pretty
Thanks,
simple,
man.
Deliver them yourself.
Don't worry, it'll be so little. You'll have all the time in the world to fix it.
Yeah, you can give them like top quality service, and
I will say though, Doug did have a good bit of advice about international shipping. That was if you're doing a campaign and you hit like 10K or 15K, that's when you can start considering doing international shipping. Then you sort of got like a bit of a buffer if things go wrong.
Like that extra money is like the buffer?
Sort of, yeah, in case, things get lost or anything like that. The other thing is, like, I will level this criticism against Doug. Like, he does these immaculate,
I hate that page.
Books. Oh, that pic?
I hate that page right there that I colored. Looks like ass.
And I pointed out.
I love that page. That's my favorite page.
The sleeve right here. Red, white, black, white, red.
Shut up. He notices that thin, tiny stripe I missed, and he just keeps pointing it out. And
Nah.
I need to tell him I already got paid for that page. So shut the fuck up.
On that note, I gotta head out, gents. So thank you for having me on.
All right, yeah.
Great
Thanks for
talk to you,
being on, man.
All right, catch you
Talk
later.
to you later.
Back
Okay.
Forsaken Gods.
Yes,
Yes.
back Forsaken Gods.
Yeah, we'll go back and plug that again. I was about to tell him all about this little thing right here. We got.
That's an endorsement right there.
Logo and cover colors, man. We got all this for logo and cover colors. The colorist.
Andrew
Thanks,
Herrera
Bob.
colors the cover, and he gets like a paragraph. Whatever, it's fine. I don't need no love.
Your project now is at 225K, man. It's pretty awesome.
That's pretty good. Yeah, I just got to get the rest of those pages colored. I just need my flats. I want my flats.
Kung Fu, welcome, by the way. If I had you in here, just
Thank you.
what's going on?
Not much, man. Just a humble fan. Hell, Comicsgate, man.
Hail.
We're just chilling in here. This is our chill day. Yeah.
Yeah, I was catching some, but yeah, I like the artwork I saw, man. Very nice indeed.
Yeah.
Did you guys listen to EBS's stream from yesterday?
No,
I did not. What happened? What's going on?
It was just funny, man. He got me. He was talking about his take on the new Justice League trailer and a couple other things, and he was talking about the trailer for the new Batman film. And he was like, "Well, when I was going to see Batman when I was young, I was poor," which I relate to him on that. And he said, I was driving in the car and I was listening to New Kids on the Block, and I was
I did hear that one. Yeah.
So I put down, if you ever sing NKOTB again, I'm out. So he put me on hold and went through a whole ditty for me.
Yeah.
Brought the piano, which was awesome. So
I kind of relate to him on that, like when he's talking about living in like a cockroach infested house. I mean, that's how I grew up. We were like white trash, trailer trash, man. That's how we lived. So I'm totally on that level with him, man. I feel that.
Me too. Yeah, me too, man. I identify with a lot of what he's, I grew up pretty lean too. So, and we're the same age, me and him. So, and he just likes all the same shit I do, especially with the pop culture stuff. We're pretty much on the same page. Although I do like the DCEU a lot more than he does, and I'm not getting $100,000 in royalties for my work. So.
I'm done with mainstream completely. I haven't bought a mainstream. Last comic that I bought that was sort of mainstream, but not really, was Image Comics Murder Falcon. That was the last book I bought.
Oh yeah, that was cool. That was a good one.
So, yeah. And I love that guy's art, so that's the only reason I bought it.
But I mean, like, dude, I'm like in an area that's pretty well to do, and like, there's not a comic shop like within 30 miles of me. It's the fucking craziest thing. Like growing up, like 90s, dude, every town had its own like comic shop. And it's like little by littles. It was like the mid 2000s. Like it was just like they were getting taken out like one by one. I was like, oh man. And like I had my favorite of the bunch. And when it went, I was like there was like a sinking feeling like, fuck, man. Like what am I gonna do now? Like I'm not going into like the city to get
comic
comics,
stores were so awesome, man. Just like having your pull box there. Yeah. And then just like going like down, like I would spend like half a day there. Like I'd go down on Saturday on my day off from work, like half a day just going down the racks, looking at books, and oh man.
Yeah, it was like comic plus a video,
Yeah.
Like just spend the whole time in there picking out something really good and getting to see all the other shit. That was fucking great.
Yeah, the comic shop was like the place to find like the really cool shit you couldn't just find anywhere. And then like every time
buy mainstream back then, I wanted to find like the obscure, like cool stuff, like Cerebus, or at that time, Cyber Frog was obscure back then, and like Creed, and just those little indie books. That's what I liked. Evil Ernie Chaos Comics, even like when they first came out, the old Evil Ernie comics, and
so you had a
anything
taste.
like that.
You had a taste for indie shit, anyways. Like
Yeah,
I was a
loved it.
total mainstream fanboy.
Oh, I see.
But it would be like I'd go to a bookstore, their spinner rack would be a little more filled out, right? Then like at the periphery of that, so comic book shop was the coolest shit, right? You could find like the really limited edition, special edition issues and stuff like Age of Apocalypse, X-Men Alpha, X-Men Omega, like those in-book issues that were like chromium and 48 pages. Like that would be you had to go there to find it. You're not going to find it on like the spinner rack. And then like I would get those issues in between, and I like if the event was cool enough, I was like, oh shit, man. Well, I can probably count on catching this book like maybe a month later at like the 7-Eleven, because they'd always have the older stuff like hanging out at those newsstands of like grocery stores and everything. So I'd always like have to like do like this roundabout thing, because I only had so much money from an allowance to spend on it. But at least then, dude, like comics are like $1.50. Like, and that was really good stuff too at that time. This is like 94, 95. Like,
yeah, you could get so much stuff for a little bit of money. I remember just getting, I don't know why, but I think it was Joe Quesada was on like X Factor at the time, and I freaking loved like any of the X books. And I just remember it was at the time I lived in a little tiny town, and the only place you could buy comics was the spinner rack at the freaking gas station. And so you'd have to wait like 3 months for any new comics to get put on there. And man, I was so excited when I'd go in there, and just like my dad get gas, and I'd be like, oh shit, there's all new comics. I was like freaking out, man. Because like a little town, that's all you had. Anything cool was, there's nothing cool there. So yeah, I
was doing it in the 80s. I mean, I'm like 46, man. So like, I remember I grew up on my uncles. They had they go get like a DC and Marvel every week, like Spider-Man, Superman, Batman, all that stuff. And then by the time I was a kid, I got into all that stuff. My grandfathers, they had just their old comic books piled up. I go through all of them. But I'd go to the store in the early 80s for fell into love with the Badger, like Barron's comic. And I go there, for that, which was like independent. But then I'd always go for like the back issues of like what was like the cheapest, like Master of Kung Fu, and just some of the stuff that looked really kind of cool, And yeah, it's just the best experience, man. I do love just going to an actual shop. I love, I love that this convention's coming up with the EBS, where we can all just kind of like everybody can just put out their wares and you can browse. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, I wasn't planning on going to that, but now I think I'm definitely going to try to really go to that. Yeah, this is the comic I remember buying on the spinner rack right here in the corner. Yeah, Joe Quesada, man. He could draw. I don't know why.
Artist, dude.
I don't know why he went into like the business side, because he was freaking so good.
Probably more money in it.
Yeah, but God. I mean, I remember he did Ash. I would buy Ash, the firefighter superhero, and man, I loved his stuff back then. But especially Strong Guy. Strong Guy looked cool, man. I liked that. The whole team of X Factor. Yeah, Havoc, and bam.
Yeah, amazing talent, man. Absolutely.
Yeah. This is my childhood right here. This is like 91, 92. That's when I was buying spinner rack comics at the gas station, man.
Look at that, 150 US. Yeah, man.
150, baby. Yeah. You get a whole bunch, man. You save your allowance, get a big old fat stack of comics. Yeah, that was awesome back then. That was what was and that's kind of what's missing nowadays too. I think it's lasted so long in like China and stuff, and how manga has lasted so long. Part of it is that it's a very cheap entertainment, and they don't make a lot of money over there, so they can afford to afford that entertainment. So I think that's definitely a factor in that. Well, and then in Europe, it's like comics are taken more seriously. They're more of more of an art form than they're considered an art form than they are here. So
Yeah.
But-
Well, the the manga. I mean, like shit. What does like one book cost? Like $10 or something, but you get like 100 something pages. Yeah, it's like crazy amount of value for it, and it's like, I mean, it's really well done, dude. Like they've refined that stuff. Like it's like it's kind of like a sweatshop, but they do good shit.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. They have a whole studio working on just one book. You know, they have like all background artists and all kinds of stuff.
And it's like, I want to know like just how much of a experience that is. Like you only really get like no, I'm just I want the truth, you know, like dude, like I always assumed that like if an artist's name was on something and it's just their name, they did it, like it was them all the way. So like hearing like there's like entire teams behind stuff, even like
extreme studios and stuff, they had all like a lot of that. The only part of the comics that were actually drawn by, you know, like Mark Silvestre was like the actual characters. Everything else was all background artists. Yeah.
So like growing up, dude, like I was trying to be one man army. Like I was like, dude, I'm gonna do it all. And you know, because that's what they do. You know, I would see like penciler inker. I'm sure colorist was like in the like little credits box or whatever, but they were never like front page listing or anything like that, you know. But
I think the first time I seen a colorist really like highlighted was that it was on a Wolverine book. And Joe Quesada did the covers for the Wolverine books, and then I think it was it was some kind of a Inisov or something like that. I think he's like a Russian guy, and he would like paint over Joe Quesada's Wolverine covers, and they were like beautiful, man. Yeah, I think what was that, Wolverine Year One? I think. I'll look that up.
Yeah, I think it was.
Dude, colors. Go ahead, Kung Fu.
Oh, I was just saying, yeah, I think it was Year One.
Colorists, I feel like, have been like the biggest game changer in comic books in the past
Wolverine
20
Origins.
Years.
Oh, is it Origins? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, colors. I mean, now colors kind of still get treated like they did before, but they do so much more. And they're expected to fix mistakes and stuff now too.
Well, and a lot of what I see, like, I'm curious how much is like in pencils that I don't see, you know, that you never really see of a page, but like you get somebody's line art and they leave like the face area pretty well undefined, or the body pretty well like you have the outline and sort of like a few defining lines of ink, like for the muscles, but everything else like will be defined in color. And like I'm just like sometimes I'm just blown away at like how much detail is all in the color or something. I'm like, oh, like I was like, man, some colorists really like make or break the look of something.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. It was on the Wolverine Origins.
Yeah.
Look at the colors on those. Those were penciled, and then he like colored over like.
Was that Kubert? I thought that was, or I mean, Quesada. I thought it was Kubert who did this.
Maybe it was
line art.
I thought Quesada did the covers.
Maybe.
And then the I can't say his last name. I can't get it big enough so you can see it though. But yeah, how do you say that? I guess that was like the first colorist that I seen that was like big time.
But yeah, that
does it's Quesada. It's Quesada. See his signature.
I got you.
So he did the
pencils, do the colors, yeah.
And Isanov did the colors, but his color work is gorgeous. Yeah, he knew how to do it, man. Like every single color cover on one of those books was just like, yeah. Look at the covers. I mean, the color palette, beautiful. But yeah, that's nowadays colors. Just there's so much work. I know colors. Like every colorist I talk to, it seems like they will spend just as much time on the colors as the penciler did doing the page. And then, so it's like, yeah. I don't know what to say about that. I mean, it's definitely as far as like credit for the image and stuff. It's definitely all the credit goes to the writer and the penciler, but the colorist is getting like a bigger and bigger part in comics. So
Mhm.
I would say that the one man show is probably the way to go nowadays to learn how to do the whole package yourself.
Yeah.
So, and I'm
Getting there, I
starting to
guess.
get into the 3D stuff, like with the ZBrush and
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, like
Anything you want to show off?
it all looks like shit till it's finished. Unfortunately, well, mostly it's ZBrush is a very. I have a monster computer, and it takes like all of my computer to run it.
Oh,
So
dude,
it'll probably
3D is like,
freeze the screen.
yeah, 3D is
No,
so
but
fucking demanding, dude.
I'm definitely getting there, and but I'm not gonna really show any of it till I get it perfected because I don't want to show. Especially, I find that with 3D sculpting, it like looks like shit all the way to the very end before and then at the very end you're putting the polish on it and like,
Mhm.
oh, now it's cool. So yeah, even more than illustrations like that too. You go through this long period where everything just kind of looks like shit, and then you bring it all together at the end. And
Mhm.
so yeah,
Yeah, that was like I was really into 3D animation or animation in general back when I was at school, and I would listen to like all the extras, commentary, and everything. And you know who Brad Bird is? He directed Iron Giant, The
Okay.
Incredible,
Yeah.
and so he had done Iron Giant, and that was like the last 2D film he did, I think, and that was at Warner Brothers, and they closed down like their animation department. I mean, like the 90s was like the golden age of animation and comics, but like it was like kind of like a um, just a thing going on at that time. Like an animator could make so much money at that time because it was like you had Little Mermaid, Aladdin, Lion King, and like it was just like hit after bigger hit after bigger hit, and they were kind of being paid like kings for their work. And
Right.
then it was like a slew of crap. And Toy Story was the big thing, right? 3D animation and the Toy Story movies, and Pixar was its own separate entity at that time. I think Disney handled the distribution, but Pixar was its own studio. And so, anyways, Brad Bird, he gets kind of this inglorious ending with the Iron Giant, which was a really underrated film, really awesome movie.
I agree.
You get to
Man. I love that
watch it.
movie.
And
Yeah, you know. Oh, sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
yes. So he comes over to Pixar. He works on The Incredibles, and it's like the first thing they do that's like largely human. Like you had human characters in Toy Story, but they were like always usually the faces were cropped out, or there was only a bit that you saw. And he's looking at like like the load up screen and animation where it's like arms out and all this shit. Like he was just like, what the fuck am I looking at? Because
Yeah.
he's used to seeing drawings, and like being able to look through like your in betweens and stuff somebody's drawing at the time and like giving them correction. And he's like, where's the suit? Where's the stuff? And it's like all that gray putty look,
Yeah.
And he's just like, what the fuck am I? And they're like, don't worry, it's coming together, man. It's coming together. And he's just like, all right, man. All right, I'm guessing so. And like he's like, yeah, up till like the last minute on some things. Like hair was a big
Hair
problem
is
for
very hard to do in 3D. But
He's-
ZBrush I just got the new version of ZBrush, and they have dynamics now, and
Mhm.
so like cloth dynamics and stuff, and it's fucking cool. So this is the kind of stuff I do in ZBrush, like, and it's the same thing. You just have your T pose, and basically I just do the characters to where I can see what the character looks. That's really the main purpose of ZBrush for me. I can do this. This was for a children's book I did. And so you can see the character from every single, angle, like when you're drawing the book. So, that's a big one. And then I did a dog for that too. Like I did a stupid dog. Come on, computer. Oh, you gonna be a bitch. Open. Didn't you hate that? It's just a JPEG. Why isn't my computer not opening a JPEG? Anyway,
I don't know.
I did a model of a dog
There
too.
we
So
go.
Cool.
and like this looks very simple, right? But when I took this into the rendering program, the renders look like all the poly paint and everything, like, and it has a fiber mesh on it. So when you take it into the rendering program, all this like darkness all actually look like real fur and stuff. So and the eyes were, the once you add all the materials and the lighting, it stuff looks pretty real. Yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah, this is the kind of stuff I'm doing right now. I'm working on me and Rotten Glory's characters, so trying to get them all in 3D so that I know how to draw the main characters from any direction, and I'm not sitting there kind of guessing what they look like. So,
Oh, dude, that's like one of my biggest like time wasting things. Like doing fan art is I try to be true to like the design of a character.
Stick on model, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the hardest thing that there is in drawing comics.
Dude, you've seen the one I'm working on for Graveyard Shift, and like,
yeah, it's awesome, dude.
It keeps changing like every 5 pages. Like I'm like, this is not the same outfit as the cover piece. Like I'm like, okay, I get like a side view off the cover. All right, well, what's the back like? What's the front like? And like, it's an entirely different design. And like, you realize like, did anyone nail this down? Was there not like a concept?
I don't think they do a lot of times.
Yeah,
I don't.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't know, maybe I'm a little more anal about that, but I like it to be like tried and true. Like there's just one thing to refer back to, and you can lose detail, but I don't think you should like ever change it up like entirely.
Yeah. Oh, I was trying to find. I did some renders of that stuff, but I think I got rid of a lot of it because I hate. Do you ever do that? Like you do stuff and then you're like, I'm never gonna use this again, like ever, and then you delete it, and then it's like, oh
Right
man,
now,
I wish I still had that because it was cool.
I'd say like I sort of do the opposite. Because I do use Procreate, and so what I usually do is at some point I transitioned over to doing like comic book page size. On the off chance somebody actually publishes one of my things, it's made to the size format, 11 by 17, and I try to get in the highest resolution as I can. So I usually pump it up. Like I did some graphic design classes, and it was like I was told rule of thumb 450 to 600 is what you should shoot for DPI, and never below 300. And so I always went for the higher thing. You can always, shrink it down or something, but you can never expand it out. So why not go for the highest thing you can? And that gives me only 5 layers to work in at a given time. And I might have like a rough drawing, then I'll do inks, then I'll do like a color, like flat color, and then I'll do like highlight shadows, like as their own layers too. I'm maxed out at that point, and I might be like, oh man, I really need to do like another layer of this, or I need to add text to it or something like that. So I make it its own thing. I copy the file, flatten some layers down, whichever I think are going to be the ones I don't need to change at that point, and then work over top of that. But I always keep that original file where it was still separated out in case like I'm like later on, it's usually in my line drawing. Like I've learned, like you really have to have a solid final line drawing before you try to do anything else. Because if that changes, everything else changes too. So I usually try to have it pretty honed down, but like I have multiple like duplicate files like on my program. And it's an entirely different like format too, the way it stores it. It's not like you're like a file system because it's all a tablet. And I really hate, like in some ways I think tablets have been overrated, along with like phones, like in terms of like how much they change it. Like I'd much rather use a laptop interface or a computer interface than that, because it's just like multiple windows and dragging, dropping, like all those things are like such a pain in the ass to try and do. Like on like a phone, on a tablet. Welcome, El Gargoyle. How's it going, man?
What's up, Gargoyle, man?
How you doing?
Hail. How's it
Hail,
going?
man.
Doing good, man. We're just chatting, man. Just chatting. Not doing anything interesting. We're just chatting.
Hey, plenty interesting.
I hear you. I got I got some good news. Got my 20-something pages for the Templar drafted.
Oh, that's
Cool.
great. Good.
Cool,
So-
man.
In the rendering process, and then it'll be in the editing process, and then can probably do a mailing list.
Nice.
Cool, dude.
Nice,
There
man.
you go.
I'll be on it, brother. You know that.
Hail, appreciate that, Kung Fu.
Of course, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always down with things being crammed up people's arses. So
So we were sharing some art, man. These covers, dude. Like,
Kelly Jones.
yeah,
Is that-
man.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Like his Nightfall artwork, man. Like every last one of these, I just think looks so fucking money. Like I was sold.
I remember those covers. They had them in the bonus packages at. I'm from Michigan. If you guys ever heard of a Meyer.
Like Fred Meyer's.
I guess it was kind of like Walmart, except they sold groceries.
Yeah.
before
Yeah,
Walmart
I'm
did.
pretty sure that's what it is.
Yeah, I've heard of Meyer.
Okay, same thing. Yeah,
It's like a
the toy section. They used to have
These are
the
just-
bonus packages with these Batman covers on them.
nice.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah,
these
they're
were
gorgeous.
just so like bombed. Like he just
Oh.
has like a great style, dude. Like I was hoping that they made posters of these, but I can't find anything except I think it's this one here, which was like the new suit. I think that's like a poster on its own. But I was hoping for I really love this one, the punching down one. That was like the Breaking of Batman issue. Like I just love that fucking cover right there.
Yeah, it's nice. Very sweet.
Yeah, I like Kelly Jones. I like Kyle Hotz is one of my favorites. I didn't like him when he first came out. I think he was doing Spider-Man 2099 and things like that. But then he got like
Mhm.
way better. So yeah, Kyle Hotz is like,
Well,
I think-
and like his cover work was like loads better, I think, than like his interiors were. But I mean that's kind of the case for almost anybody. But that shit just drew me in like moth to the flame. And speaking of colorist work, I'm gonna see if I can't. I don't know the names of all the colorists on this. I remember Ryan Crabtree being one of them. But did you guys read the Invincible books by Robert Kirkman?
yeah,
No.
Ryan
Like to share.
Otley.
Yeah, Ryan Otley
Was
was
he the
the
artist?
inker. Yeah. He was pretty much a constant. I think past like issue 8 or something, because like they had an initial artist and he
Yeah.
like just had shit going on, and then Ryan Otley was like there forever after. So I'm just
That
looking
book
up Ryan.
became a massive hit too.
Yeah, and like Ryan Crabtree like started out and it was like kind of very graphic look. I'm not sure, like maybe like this sort of look. But then there's like a guy they got later on that like really defined out, especially the blood and guts kind of aspect of it. I think this is one of those here, like where like you get a lot of like detailing from like blood effects and everything. And that was like one of those things where like the colorist like completely changed the way like the
Whoa.
art looked, you know?
Is that actually a 2-page spread?
Yeah. He's headbutting him till his head caves in. So it's just constant, like more and more blood coming up on the background there on the
Wow.
panels. Yeah, dude, you should check it out. It's a really good, it's a pretty entertaining series. I kind of think it fell apart at the end, but like first 50 issues are really solid. And Ryan Otley, I mean, he's just like consistently good artist. But yeah, that was one where like I really noticed the colorist and the difference they can make on a book.
Yeah, I mean, colors, and you're kind of expected to do a lot, like change whole backgrounds or change complete facial expressions on another artist's work, all kinds of stuff, even stuff that it's a little distasteful, you know. I don't really like being asked to change the original artists, the work that they've done as far as drawing. But sometimes you have to do it. You're asked to do it. So
Yeah, like Elgard goes help me out. Like I'm just like I like to write, and I just appreciate that I love comics, but like I don't have any artistic skills, and I love seeing the process. I'm new to learning about it, but I love seeing how you guys do what you do. And I had a question. I think we were talking about a movie that's underrated. I am a huge fan of Titan AE, and I don't hear a lot of people talk about it. But what do you guys think art wise? Like I noticed in that movie, like is it Don Bluth or Don Bloom that directed that? He was
I don't remember who directed it, but I know the movie you're talking about.
yeah, like he actually like was kind of the first that I saw to kind of integrate some of it looked like the 3D shots in that movie. Just a few.
yeah, I'm not familiar with it at all.
I didn't watch it. I know what you're talking about.
Check it out.
I'm looking
like
it up.
Yeah, you love it, man.
It's from like 2000. Yeah,
Yeah,
around that time.
Uh-huh.
Around that time, a lot of studios just started digital. I mean, I think there was growing pains with it, but occasionally you see some really cool shit. Like I was.
If you watch it, I think today, if you watch it, I mean, it still holds up pretty good. I mean, it's a little bit dated, but I mean, it's kind of like a Star Warsy type of, space adventure. It's a great story.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was blown away, and I mean, it's kind of movie you watch on shrooms, but it's really pretty cool then. But I just was like, wow, this movie is. I just think it's like one of the most underrated oldie, kind of from back in that era that you don't see it a lot played, but I got like 2 DVD copies. Yeah, I watch it from time to time, and I just there's something about the art in that movie that his stuff, like he's the same guy that did All Dogs Go to Heaven and those type of films. He was outside of like Pixar and the Disney studio system, but I love his style. And I was always like I got a bunch of professional artists here. I just wanted what your take would be. But it is kind of an old movie.
Well, I knew that you can kind of tell. Let me see. I'll share the screen here of what I'm looking at. You can kind of tell it's digitally colored just because once they go digital, like you lose pretty much all the defects, like flecks of paint or like reflection scratches on cells, things like that get lost. So it's a lot cleaner look that they have on them. You can also see like the like so here in the hand, it's like a CG graphics kind of thing, glow effects. I definitely appreciate the less is more sort of thing. Like there's like a time where like I feel like they overdid, like characters would be 2D, well drawn 2D things, and then like you had vehicles, like every last vehicle or background was 3D, and it just looks so out of place to me.
They did that
when
with
they
this
first
movie.
started this, they did that with this movie.
Yeah, they did it to hell with this movie. It's a good movie, but
I don't know. Like I feel like early days stuff, man. I feel like early days was fairly good.
This came out the same time the X-Men movie did. The only reason I remember this movie so much is because if you went to go see this movie, you got free X-Men cards for the movie, and that was the first time you ever see any of the X-Men in their costumes.
Right. Yeah, it was like 2001, something around then. Yeah, it was a while ago. Shit. Now it is. Seems like it was yesterday. Yeah, I like, it just kind of gave me like vibes of like, like the old heavy metal movies from like was it early 80s, like 1980, John Candy and all them voicing. That's like the first time, like I was telling before, just like, I noticed they were starting to try and play with some of the, the 3D effects and the computer CGI stuff. But yeah, give it a watch if you haven't seen it. I think you'd like it.
Yeah, I'll take a look up on it. I honestly forgot all about it. So yeah, it's definitely one of those like hidden ones. It's not like one everyone
forget about it because it came out the same time X-Men did.
It wasn't up against some stiff competition, that's for sure.
Yeah, if you've never watched the movie Stiff Competition, I think El Gargoyle makes an appearance in there.
As a gym teacher.
Yeah, the girls' gym teacher.
Oh,
Don't worry, it was a college team.
oh, okay.
Man, yeah, I can't find none of my early 3D work. Some of it was really good too, but can't find it no more. Got rid of it. I was like, I'm never gonna do 3D again. And now I'm like, I should probably get into 3D again.
Never say never, man.
Yeah, the only value I see is really just in the characters for me, anyway, and being able to just see that character from any freaking view you want, man.
Yeah.
That's just it's priceless, man. And even like if you sculpt the whole character with outfit and everything, you can pose that character, and then if you're trying to come up with a panel or a really tricky perspective, you can have an exact reference for it. So yeah, that's always awesome. So
Speaking of sick talent, man, I gotta pull this guy up. Have you guys seen this Charlie Snuggins guy?
oh my god, dude. Yeah.
Motherfucker. Oh,
Fuck
did you see
that
his
guy.
did you see his ambidextrous drawing?
Fuck him. Don't remind me.
He
Fuck
reminds me of like Continuity Comics. Remember when they came out, how like they had like the best people that could draw figures, like the old school comic talent. That's what his stuff kind of reminds me of.
Really? I haven't heard of him. What does he do? What project?
He's on right now. His big project is Fatal,
which
with,
way funded by already. Yeah, it like overfunded the first day. So it was
Wow.
awesome.
I gotta check that out. I'm gonna pull that up for sure.
Yeah, well, I finally found him. Unfortunately, I don't really use Chrome, so I have to like always type shit in and find it. Boom, Chrome tab.
Oh, dude, I was digging through some old papers, and I kept them for you, Lucius. Some old stories that I wrote out on. I wrote it on lined paper.
So look at this. Look at this motherfucker.
He's drawing with
going, man.
That is nuts.
Although you can tell that he's like right-handed because like he has a much like firmer grip on the pen, but still, this is just like insane.
Yeah, it's something, man. I never thought about that. And I haven't actually started doing something like that. That is crazy. It's cool.
It looks like the guy that was drawing that Bloodstrike comic for a little bit. His comic's way better than this, but no, that's crazy that he can do that with just ballpoint pens. Freaking nuts.
I'm wondering how big that pad is, dude. That's a giant fucking pad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've known women with those before.
Yeah, man. So do you have any of those stories you want to share on
I'm
air?
looking at them. These I wrote these all out on lined paper. Oh, I did like a comic story too, where like I did panel by panel. Oh man. Let's see. Comic ideas. Oh, here we go. Comic book ideas. You want to hear some of these?
Yeah.
Let's see. I got one comic idea. It's called Wife and Death. It's about the character Death and his nagging wife. Let's see. I got one here called where it's called A Chance Meeting, spelled like meat, and it's about a woman who eats children. Of course she's nuts, I write. Okay, it says she comes across the boy in the forest. He has fallen and broken his leg. She takes him home to try to nurse him back to health. Let's see. I can't even read my own writing. I don't think I knew how to spell back then.
It's got a
There's
little
a
Hansel and Gretel vibe going. I like it.
Dude, there's a great famine in the land, and he has nothing. She has nothing to feed the child, so she nurses him day and night. To no avail, the boy dies. The old woman is much too weak to dig a hole. She's too weak to dig a hole to bury the boy due to lack of nutrition. She sits all night staring at the boy and drinking boiled water full of wild spices. She was able to find in her forest walks. She remembers the tales her father would tell her about being lost in the frozen wastelands of the upper regions. I don't know where the upper regions. Okay, the upper regions.
Yeah, man.
Some of them.
I can see it already in my mind as you're saying it. Seriously.
This was when I was in high school. I wrote this stuff. That's why I kept it, because it's all on lined paper. I wrote it like probably at school. Yeah. Some of the men in his party had died, and the others were starving to death. So out of pure desperation, they feasted on their fallen comrades' flesh and were able to make it back to someone. The old woman thought of herself, surely this was one of those cases of life or death desperation. So she prepared the boy, covered his face, and disposed of all the innards and excrement. She roasted his buttocks in rosemary style over the fire on a spit and covered the meat with wild spices again. She has wild spices all over the place. It was surprising to her how good the sizzling meat smelled, and her mouth began to water as the fat melted from the boy's buttocks. I must have watched Forrest Gump before this. The meat made hissing noises when it was licked by the flames of the fire.
Oh gosh, that's hilarious,
dude. Yeah, I have like 5 pages of this.
I just love that you put this lady in like a very it's not even like she's initially evil. Like, it's just you put her in such a desperate situation.
Yeah, unwilling victim.
I tried healing the boy, but then he just died, and then I couldn't bury the body, so I just had to stare at it while.
Well, then
starving.
After that, basically what happens is she likes the way it tastes, and then she goes on a killing spree and eats all the children in her village. Yeah, so that's really what happened.
You know, that reminds me real quick. I don't know if you guys ever were Stephen King fans or read his earlier stuff, which I wasn't. I think it was the Bachman novels, but he had this story about a doctor who, he was planning on killing his wife on a cruise, I believe, and he ends up going overboard. I don't know, I remember how he got there, but he winds up trapped on this island, and all he's got is his medical bag full of pills and morphine and dope and shit, and a diary, pretty much, right? So just the whole story is him writing about how hungry he is and how he's foraging, but he's finding nothing on the island. It's very, very small island, like real small. And basically he's forced to eat his body to sustain as he hopes for a ship to pass by and come get him. And so he uses the morphine from his medical bag, and you could just see as he's writing each day, he just starts getting, his words start getting all fucked up, and he gets weaker and just doped up. He surviving on his skin. Then he cuts off a finger because he's got the knives and stuff.
Yeah, I actually wrote a story like that called "Eat Me."
Ah, there you go.
And it was the same thing. Like, this boy was nuts and he ate his baby brother, and so they lock him up in an insane asylum, and then he eats himself to death.
Yeah, man, cannibalism. I mean, it's freaky, man. So it makes for good storytelling. Absolutely.
And so I'll just read the last little on this page, the last paragraph. The old woman sits back in her chair. Her stomach is full and her appetite is satisfied. A smile breaks across her face. Never in all her life had she realized how much she enjoyed children, and never again would a child be safe in her midst. But I thought that would make a good comic story at one time, I guess. Yeah.
No, what you should
Tales from the Crypt, man. That'd be great for like a little Tales from the Crypt mini story. That'd be perfect.
Yeah, what you should do is have it be like a collection. Like you find all these stories and you have different artists draw them and like give it like try to condense it down to like 8 pages or something. Like
Yeah,
each
try to make
story.
it like a real, like into a real comic story.
Yeah, and just have it like be a collection. Like it'll be like the new Grimm fairy tales, but ink spot
God.
stories.
That was freaking weird, man. I was obsessed.
Oh God!
I read a story about a woman that cuts her husband's junk off and burns him to death too.
What gets me is like just the way he wrote. Like she was roasting the buttocks.
The buttocks.
Yeah, buttocks.
That's what I wrote.
And it was also like the fire licked the flesh or whatever.
Yeah.
And I just imagine like doing a fire tongue, like licking the butt.
It was,
and it's sizzling.
It was licking the butt fat. It was,
Yeah.
it was really tantalizing meat.
Yeah.
That's something different from a Garth Ennis comic book. I remember, the one about the hillbillies. The runoff story where this guy's torturing this guy by plucking out his pubes with the giant fucking Rambo knife.
Ouch.
With the serrated side.
Yeah, a lot of these stories are like overly descriptive science fiction stories, like about asteroids and planets and stuff. I was like way into the solar system, dude. It's very strange.
Yeah. You know, I used to hear about this Roman torture, and I think, man, this should be something that'd be great for like a ghoul comic or a horror comic. And I heard that the Romans used to have this torture where, I don't know what you had to do to get it, but they would take a fucking barrel, right? And they would drill like just fucking millions of nails into this barrel. Then they put you in the barrel, then they roll you down the hill. And when you got to the bottom of the hill, they throw you in a big fucking pool of salt water. Just let you die of shock.
That's very inventive.
Those are the Romans for you. Yeah.
So,
I wonder about the design committee behind that.
Yeah, that was a weird kid.
Wait, did you read it? Did you find another good one?
No, just like weird stuff that I thought would even be. I don't know how I even thought like it would be like you could make any story out of it or anything. It doesn't make any sense. But yeah, I was like, I wrote all pages and pages of just handwritten stuff.
Anything, man. It's like you put people on it. I mean, that's the thing. I love to write. I love to, read, and like I would love to be given something like that. And just somebody hands me something like that, I would love and say, yeah, let's see what we can do with this. I would love, that's what I love doing, just to turn it into something, into it. Well, obviously into it like something great, and that's got potential, man. It's very descriptive, and a lot of these great movies and stories, that we see, they started out, different. They just keep the basic concept. You guys know how it goes. It's you go a lot of different directions with that. I think it's cool. I think it's for high school, man. I'm impressed for sure.
Yeah, I got all kinds of weird stuff. Like the science fiction stuff is like so like story starts out with a group of astronauts in orbit around Neptune. They are there to launch the first space fueling station. It's a gigantic fuel cell made to convert Neptune's hydrogen atmosphere into energy. Just like I go into like all kinds of weird stuff, man. It's like directly off like Discovery Channel.
Yeah, it's Recall, man, kind of stuff. I mean,
I was listening to that black scientist guy, and I'm just like writing down every word he says.
Neil deGrasse Tyson, yeah. He's okay. He knows his shit. I mean, I think.
Yeah. Well, hopefully my ideas are better than that nowadays. I hope so. But if they're not, I got Rotten Glory to
I'm
straighten me out. If he ever shows up again, man, that guy is like incognito, bro. Like he's like incognito, bro. He's off the scene right now. I think he's just maybe because he started smoking dope again. Who knows?
None of us should be here.
He just got himself a pound, and he's just like taking a break. You never know, man. Yeah, I gotta get.
You mentioned Neil deGrasse Tyson.
What was that, Lucius? He cut out again.
Did you just call him racist?
Dawn of time to the distant future.
Oh yeah, that's the dude right there, man.
Time.
No, this is not the dude.
I am Neil deGrasse Tyson. I'm here to tell you how fucking rad
That's great.
That's what's his name.
All right, I'm gonna pause it for a bit.
Yeah, it's great. Oh my god. Oh, they did a spoof of it. That's funny as hell, man.
I was just thinking that. Did they redesign his spaceship to look like a vagina?
The cosmos on weed.
In this journey, we will need to use our imagination,
Look at it.
our mind's eye, and this J I just rolled. The distance to the edge of the observable universe is 13.8 billion light years.
The guy looks so much like him too.
Doesn't that make you feel small? Nothing even matters. Damn.
Oh my god. That's so good. That's so good.
That's fucking great.
We're gonna keep watching.
The closest neighbor to the Milky Way is the expansive Andromeda galaxy. Whoa. That's a really weird word. Andromeda. 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 Andromeda.
Andromeda.
We all were created from stars. Everything is star stuff. This pizza, this cheese, and this pepperoni is stars. We're all. Oh, how does that make stars? I think that's crazy. A generation ago, Carl said.
Oh my god. Oh, that's so great. That's the best.
I'd rather watch him than Neil deGrasse Tyson, actually.
Yeah.
This guy's awesome. That guy's been on like,
took us on a cosmic.
that guy's a pretty famous comedian. He's been on a lot of, primetime stuff.
Dude, this is a masterpiece.
Unlike any other. Who would have thought hang out with me?
Oh my god.
Some dude.
Some dude. You gotta share that to Twitter, man. That's great.
Damn it. And now I'm here to take you on the same journey to unlock the secrets of the universe.
Yes, look at that. Baseball.
What was that?
Dude, that was great. That was great.
Oh my
Man.
gosh. Is that just off of YouTube? Where'd you find that, man? That's fucking hilarious.
YouTube,
Oh, that's sweet.
Nacho Punch. Yeah, go subscribe to Nacho Punch, man. That's awesome. I'm gonna find Nacho Punch right now.
Yeah, that's what it's so fuck. That's great.
Yeah, maybe I'm too small with one viewer for them to take me down.
Yeah, you're too small to fail. I don't know. They started paying attention. To me
I'm on
when
the
I got like 150 follow. I don't think it was that they started paying attention to me. I think it was that somebody that didn't like me started turning me in for stuff. So yeah,
Probably.
I only
guys,
have
gotta
like
piece it.
180
y'all later.
followers. Oh, see you later, man.
Girl. Buddy.
Well, I've got to get to work too, Lucius. So maybe it's
Oh,
a good
shit.
spot to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I could. Hey, thanks for having me on, guys. I really appreciate it, man. I love hearing what you guys do, man. I really I'm a fan. I'm a big fan.
Cool.
Thanks
man.
for being on, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Anytime, man. I'm always willing to come on and listen to what you guys have to say. I like learning from you guys. I mean, it's great. You know, I'm just getting back into comics, so
Yeah,
I
well,
love
you should go to. I need to actually share it out. Spartan Scotsman did a colorist collaboration talk on Sunday, and Ink was a part of that crew, and it was actually pretty informative. Even though they really only got into like what program they use, like what's their like default settings, things like that, but they covered a lot of good ground.
Yeah, we're gonna do it every Sunday. So
yeah, and it's kind of like an endless thing because it's going on like setting up your system to making a print file and getting it printed. So I tuned into that, and it was actually a really good show.
Yeah,
So,
I'll check it out, man. And yeah, I'll definitely you guys follow you guys on YouTube and Twitter for sure, man. I'll be following at 7. For sure, man.
Awesome.
I'm on Twitter as well. YouTube, I don't have any posted videos, so I mean, I got like 20 followers, 20 subscribers, but I'm up to like 208 or 9 followers on Twitter, and I've only been on it for like 3 or 4 months. So
nice, man. That's good work.
yeah,
So,
you gotta start
man.
posting dick pics, and you'll get like a ton of followers.
Yeah, they'd be shocked. But no, give me a follow. I'll give you guys a follow, man, and I'll definitely be checking you guys out, man. I appreciate it.
Find you.
All right, man. Hell,
Take it easy. Yeah. Anything you want to push, Ink, before you go?
Yeah, just back cash grab, and then Charlie's London has her mailing list out to sign up for the comic I'm gonna be coloring for her, and then just keep an eye out. Eventually, I'm gonna get some stuff done for me and Rotten's project, where I'm doing 3D models of all the characters right now. So I'll be probably putting that stuff out there fairly soon. So that's
all
it,
right.
man.
Well, like, comment, subscribe this video. I am Jaw Smashers on Twitter. I have something I'm working on, cooking up, trying to get nice and polished, maybe with the chance to win some money. So hopefully that gets done fairly soon, but the contest hasn't been announced yet. So I'm trying to be strategic as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got some insights from Ink Spots over here about what to do.
You were almost there anyway. It looks pretty dang good, dude. So
thanks.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we will catch you guys next week, maybe soon. And in the meantime, stay classy.
peace out.